Well, hello and welcome everybody. I just started a video upload about finding center on these little guys. So I'm going to do one live demonstration and then we're going to get into making some little succulent holders, right? This is Caro walnut, C-A-R-O walnut. It is a combination of black walnut and English walnut. So it's a hybrid tree. Get the glare off of there. But that's what you end up looking at. Some nice curly features in there. It makes for beautiful little pieces. And very attractive little pieces. So I am going to get my tablet set up here in just a second and then we'll get to going on this, make this all cool and all right. Let me just open up the tablet here because I want to be able to see the live chat. And hopefully the live chat will work. I'm going to turn the volume down so I don't get feedback. Don't need that kicking. All right, so let me move some of these guys out of the way. I've got a few pieces of the Caro walnut, 6 more in total. These guys right here are all Caro walnut. All right, so you can kind of see they're going to give me some cool looking features. Kind of excited for those. They're very unique and they were not terribly expensive. You can see a lot of the swirls and good looking stuff in this one here. All right, so there's tons and tons of swirls. What's up, Jordy? How you doing, buddy? But lots of cool swirls in here. That's going to make for beautiful little succulent holders. So I got 6 pieces. 6 pieces of the Caro walnut. And then I got these little guys. I don't even know what type of wood this is, but it's heavy and it's dense and it's expensive. And I bought it for making turning projects. So here I am. I'm going to make turning projects, and these ones here are just leftovers that I decided that I'm going to try to make a little succulent holder out of these too, if I got enough room, and it'll just be shorter, that's all. But still usable, I think, I hope, maybe. We'll see. I don't know. And one of these I have over here. There it is. Put one away that I didn't want to put away. Because we're going to demonstrate finding center on an odd piece, but some of these are really cool looking pieces, right? So you get different shades, some spalting. So these two I think are going to look really cool. This one I'm going to lose most of that when I turn it. It's going to disappear on me, but still should be some really cool grain, some really cool effects. So I'm looking forward to it. It's one thing I like about working with a lathe is that it's fast projects and it turns up really cool things. What I'm going to do now is demonstrate finding the center there. I don't know why that comment to Jordy's didn't show up, so here, open the chat back up. There we go. No, they will not have drain holes, Jordy. These will be they'll be solid. The other succulent holders that I made, these little guys, they do not have drain holes. Succulents, apparently, from my knowledge, they don't take very much water. Maybe I should have drain holes in them. I'm not 100% sure. If I need to, can always drill a hole and add it in later. Not a big deal. Mess with my settings on my other screen here. I always have to do this because it screws me up. Sorry, stop talking there for a second. Didn't mean to, but I want to be able to see what I'm doing on my tablet while I'm doing this. Okay, so finding center on an odd shape. All you need is 4 corners that oppose each other, but if you have multiple corners, you'll get a little bit more accurate to the center without having to do a whole lot of measurement and math. I hate math, so this is always my fast and easy way to find center. Again, you can do this with squares, hexagons, octagons, anything that has corners, and the more corners that you can connect diagonally, easier it'll get to finding center. So all you do is take your straight edge. You don't need any measurement on it. It's just got to be straight. It could be a piece of aluminum, it could be another stick, piece of wood, whatever. As long as the edge is straight, that's what matters. And you line up one corner to the next corner, and you draw a line. Just rotate all the way around. Keep marking all the way around. This is not going to be 100% dead center perfect, right? But if you're using it for starting a lathe project, it's going to get you really, really, really close. And the lathe will do the rest of the work of centering it as you start to turn. This is just getting you set up so that you can put your project on your chucks. But as you can see, get the light right on that. You can kind of see right there is my center point. And that's just by crossing everything. Drawing across the corners, and that got me really, really close to dead center. So I know I can put my tool right there, and that's going to get me really, really close to dead center on that. So earlier when I cut these on the table saw, I made more corners, and I just kind of knocked some edges off because I wanted to make it a little faster for turning the project. Instead of trying to hack away all the sharp corner edges, I just made it so that I can get it to turn a little faster, turn a little easier. That's the goal. Because nobody wants to do a bunch of work. We all want to get right into the meat of the project. Turning is it's fun, it's easy, and you can crank projects out fast. But it's also dangerous. I screwed myself up last time. I hadn't touched my lathe in a couple of weeks, and I experienced an accident because I just got complacent and did stupid stuff, which was, I believe I was turning a pen, and I had my bigger chuck in here to hold the pen blank. I had this guy in there with the pen jaws on it, and I had my tailstock forward, and I had cranked my tailstock out too far. When you crank your tailstock out too far, this is the piece that you normally want to come out, but instead when you crank out your tailstock too far, the whole piece comes out. Well, this piece ended up being stuck with the drill bit in there, and this started spinning around. When I pulled the tailstock away, this was spinning around. It broke my drill bit, and it smacked me right on the top of the hand. I'm pretty well healed up now. My hand was sore for a week or so. It was not comfortable. It was not fun. I did not like it. But it was definitely something that could have been easily avoided had I stopped and taken a minute to remember what I needed to do. What I should have done, instead of trying to pull the tailstock out and get the drill bit out, so I should have just shut the lathe off. The power button is right down here. I would have been out of harm's way. I could have avoided injury. Everything would have been great, but I didn't do that. So it ended up costing me a little bit of pain and agony, I guess we'll call it. So let's get to the steps here. Let's see what Jordy said. Huh, it's not a bad idea, Jordy. Turning a little plate too, that's kind of cool, kind of fun. These are all going out as a project. So typically, this little piece right here, you stab your sharp point into the center, you just tap on the hammer until that holds, which is exactly what I'm going to do. And this is why it's important to find center. Use a rubber mallet. Just light taps enough to get it pretty much in there. And just slam your piece in. Doesn't matter if it stays on there. We just wanted to get the idea where it was going to go. And then you line this piece up the same way. You put that little point right up against your center spot. Lock that down. Give this a twist. Seal her in. And lock that in. And this is pretty much ready to turn. So when I turn this on, it should not be wobbling now. It should be a nice smooth turn. I head myself in forward. There you go. And as I increase the speed and take it up to about 3,200 RPMs, see, it's a nice smooth spin. There's no big wobble going to it. So that makes turning it quite a bit easier. I'm at about 3,100, cranking up slowly. Almost there. 3230-ish is where I'm hovering. 3227 to 3230. Good tools to have when you're doing this is a marker. Because when you want to square this edge off, you find the shallowest point, you put your marker against it, and then just rotate it, and then you can square it off. So we're going to be switching a bunch of tools on this. I'm going to do these one at a time, shape them, do everything, get everything done. So there's going to be a lot of swapping tools, moving stuff around, getting all that taken care of. Set this guy up. What I want to do is have it so that the workpiece is about the halfway point of the bar, not of your workpiece. Should be the same as the workpiece by going with the bar, but if you use the bar, you're going to be consistent every time. And you want to make sure that's not going to hit. All right, so it's touching my finger when I do that. I could technically pinch my finger. And when I say that you want your workpiece and your tool, so I want the edge of the tool to be at the halfway point of the bar. So when I start turning this, it's throwing off good chunks instead of giving me sawdust or nothing. It's always good to wear a face shield with this because it does throw quite a bit of chunks at you. But it throws large chunks, not sawdust chunks usually, so that's good. Helps you not need to worry about sucking in dust. Had to have a little drink there before I get going. And watching Jordy's got no more comments. We'll get to turning and see how fast making a little succulent holder goes. So what I'm going to start with, I need to see if I can get a 2 1/4 inch recessed hole in that, and if I can't, I've got to try to knock that down. So what I really should have done is measured across it. I'll have to reset up here in a second, not a huge deal. It's going to want to pull that off on me. So I want to see if I can get 2 1/4 inches, and I'm just using this. This piece shouldn't be too big of a problem to get a 2 1/4 inch, which means that I can give myself a recessed hole in here. It'll be a little bit easier for turning. If I can't get 2 1/4 inches, then I have to use the outside and grab on the outside of it. But it looks like everything is about 3 inches, so I shouldn't have a problem getting 2 1/4 inches. Since we have the center, mark this. Let's go this way because it'll be easier. Go 2 inches. Half of 2 1/4 is 1 1/8 inches. So if I've got it set at the 2 inch mark right here is where it's at. And set this up. This is a little more critical. And make a little dot mark at the 1 1/8 inch on one side. Once I round this off a little bit and get it nice and smooth, if I've still got enough meat on the bones here, I'll be good to do what I need to do. You can put this back in. Drive this guy back in. And drive this one back in. Alright, I'm going to shut my heater off. It's getting just a little too warm for me. So a couple things. If I can't turn this the way that I want to and get a recess in there, then I have to use a different method to get the core drilled. And I don't want to have to use that different method. I like to do it this way. So let's get to turning, see what we got going. 3,200 RPMs, and let's get it rounded off. And just like that, it's round. Nice, fast, and easy. That one's nice and perfectly round now. That's what I like to see. Nice, fast, and easy. Nice and perfectly round, and you can see maybe I might be able to get my my 2 1/4 inch hole in that, which is great. I do have to switch my chucks in order to do this. This was just to get this set up this way and get it right. So now I can make a quick switch, pull some stuff out of the way, and make this quick switch and get things looking nice. So this is my center hole. So when you're turning with the lathe, you have to be mindful of what is going to be top and what is going to be bottom. So we already know this is pretty good for that 2 1/4. If I'm going to make this the bottom, which I am, for no apparent reason, I kind of like that as the top. So I need to drill a hole so I can screw this piece in. And this is why you have to be mindful. Once I drill the hole, this has to be the top. And I'm going to use a Forstner bit to hog out a lot of that. So right now we're just going to set our drill bit in here. And I'm going to drill my hole. I've marked the drill bit for how deep I need it to be. And I'll just drill the hole. Try to drill the hole as straight as possible. But you are going to get rid of that hole. So it also doesn't really matter too much. And I say that very loosely. It matters, but it doesn't matter. And this is why I need the 2 1/4 inch hole. So this guy right here. As I take this guy out and I measure across that, really 2 1/8 would work. But 2 1/4 gives me some room to open, so I can use this to hold on the inside of the hole instead of using it to clamp on the outside. Clamping on the outside is going to give me a little extra work to do. We don't want extra work. Nobody likes extra work. Lock this down. And I'm going to open this guy up so that I can receive my screw. Kind of just rotating this around until I can get it to where it's nice and wiggle free tight. Lock that down. Now we can put this in. Screw this on here. Now some people will turn their lathe on the slowest speed and use their lathe to twist this. I don't like doing that just because if it gets wonky and gets thrown off, your hand is holding it. You can't feel anything messing you up. So I got it started. Get this as tight as we can get it. As square as we can get it. I like to make that hole nice and tight for the threads because I don't want this thing backing off on me. See, just like that. Now if I turn this on, it's not going to wobble. All right, it's safe to touch gently. You don't ever want to grab it. But it is safe to touch. There's not much vibration. Now I can focus on trying to make a hole right here to see if this will fit in there. I only need to go about a 1/4 inch deep or so. So now take this and we're going to rotate this without trying to lose the height. Just about like that should be good. Set this back. Lock that down. Get this out of the way. throw our hood down. And let's make that line easier to see. Just like that. All right, so make the line easier to see that way. So I know I don't want to exceed the edge of that line. Lock our tool rest in. Let's make our hole. So we only want to work from one side of the center. We don't want to be over here, we want to be over here. A little too much pressure and it immediately backed that off. You got to be gentle with it. And that's the problem with end grains. You don't want to use too much pressure. And I'm sitting too high. Still too high. That should be better. This is going to be a tough wood. This is going to be a little tougher of a wood. Alright, so we're going to switch off of that idea and we're going to use the drill bit, try to take it out that way because this is not holding tight anymore. So here's what I don't want to do. I don't want to mess this up. I already know this isn't holding tight, so instead of trying to hollow this out, now is the time to make that decision and make the switch to make it to where it's going to grab it. So now I'll reset up this tool to go this way on it. And we're still going to make that the bottom. See that we're at the midway mark still, which is good. And we're going to switch up. We're going to put this guy back in here. And I'll turn this down a little bit to where it can be grabbed. Sometimes you got to make adjustments on the fly. If things don't work the way you want, you got to do what you can to make them work as they need to. Or work as they can, one or the other. Well, looks like you got a second viewer. Welcome, viewer. So, for the second viewer, I don't know when you jumped in here, but I wanted to hollow out the inside here. That's just not going to work. It's not going to do well. So I'm just going to take some off of the edge here, just about as wide as what my cutter is. And that's going to be what I'm going to use to grab onto this. Okay, we got that turned down. but I think I'm on a little bit of an angle this way, so I want to straighten this out and bring it back a little bit. Just that little bit. Yep, I think that'll work. So now we're going to take this off of here, spin it around, switch up the drill chuck, get it hollowed out. I think I'm going to do a little bit of shaping and turning on this first, so I don't have to be too close to anything. I want to give this a little bit of shape before I flip everything around, just because. Why not? Make sure I'm still getting all my chats here. I had to close it and reopen it. Okay. Take a drink while I got my mask off. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in too a little bit for you guys. Get it to where you can see the workpiece better. Not quite that far. I think that'll work. Maybe. I think that's about good. Crank this up a little bit. Camera adjusting all the time. Yeah, doesn't look like I'm going to be able to get it exactly where I want it. Move the camera in a little bit. I think that's good enough. Moving the camera back over here though, because I don't like where that's centered. Okay, I guess that's going to be what it's going to be. Right there. That's where we're going. All right, provide a little shape here. All right, so we just gave it a little more round to it. That's it. Nothing special, just more rounding. And I took that in. All right, so we should be good. I can set this up and flip this around. So the reason why I did all the shaping here is because this is a good solid grab. Now I'm going to flip it around and I'm going to end up grabbing onto here and hollowing out the end with a drill bit, Forstner drill bit. So I'm going to take this piece out and make room for the Forstner chuck. So I know this is a 2-inch Forstner chuck. It's not the finished size, so we're going to end up doing the Forstner bit twice. I'll start with the smaller size. I believe it's 1.1 inches. This is just faster and safer than getting all that inside material hogged out with your cutter. It's just a lot faster and a lot safer. So, should be okay. Double check and make sure we're going to get 2 inches out of this. Putting that at about center, and we're going to be okay. Right? So that shows us we should be pretty good. This 2 inches is going to leave me with a nice lip. I'll still have all kinds of space to round things over. Get these little guys out of here. And then we put this in here and lock it down. Grab that good and tight. I don't think we're quite where we want to be yet. I wanted that piece to sit flat against that stock, so when I go to turn this, it's spinning nice. Okay, looks good. We got to reduce that speed down. Taking it down to about 1,000 for this drilling. So what I want to do is set myself on a 1-inch mark right here on side. I don't think you guys can see it right now. You can't. My hand is off of there, but move this in a little closer. Just until it touches. I'm going to lock that in. And I'm going to back this off just a little bit. You can kind of barely see the drill chuck, so I'm going to back this off just a little bit. And I've got this set at 1 inch so that I know when I turn this on and I start driving in, I'm going to drive it 1 inch at a time. And then I can see exactly how far I need to go without puncturing through the bottom. I've got about 2 1/8. So if I go 2 inches deep, I know I'm going to be getting right into where I'm grabbing there, which is A-okay. So we can get this started. So that's the first of the 2 inches. So I'm going to back it right down again. You might get it in frame this time. I'm going to push this in, touching it right on that 1 inch mark. I've got it zoomed out. You still can't see it. Back that out a little bit, start it up. Real close to that 2 inch mark. And that's it. Got all my 2 inch marks. I don't even know what kind of wood this is, but I like it. It's got a funny smell to it as I'm going into it. I know it's a hardwood and I know it's exotic hardwood, but I don't know exactly what type. Now I'm going to switch to my larger bit. Kind of use this 1.1 as a pilot bit of sorts. This wood, I think it's going to sand really, really nice. It's very, very powdery from the drill bits. The drill bits are not dull. They're, I don't use my Forstner bits a ton, so I know the drill bits are not dull. But the wood is very powdery, pretty powdery wood. So let's go ahead and give that a little touch to it right there. Back it off, and then like I said, I'll go in 2 inches and I'll know that I'm at the same depth that I was on the other one. That's the first inch done. Get set up at that 1 inch mark again. Take all that away. Lock in where we're touching. Back it out just a smidge and then start back up. Second inch. Right there, should be good. Very sawdusty, very warm in here. Now I can round over this edge here. We got the inside pretty good, exactly kind of how we want it. I can take this guy out for now. There we go. Excuse me. All right, let's see who we got in here. What's up, Spike? How you doing, buddy? And Jordy had to split. So we're making some succulent holders here. Just a second ago when I was talking about in the video, I was talking about this guy here. This is where on here there's a measurement. So I can set it to here, crank it in, know how far I'm going. That's how I know where I got and I'm bottoming out on that. Take this out of the way. Now I'm going to clean up and round over this edge a little bit. That's the plan, is to get this kind of rounded over. I might open it up just a little bit so that I can have this grab on the inside, which means I have to open it by making a head there. I need it to be just over 2 inches, like 2 1/8 is probably enough. So again, I'll set this in, kind of turn this, because I do want to open that up. And we're going to open it up just enough so that I can flip this around. I needed to go on an angle. So I took it out. I took it at least 1/8 of an inch. So that gives me a 1/4 inch more on the sides here, theoretically. I'll go ahead and round this edge a little bit. And I'll round this all the way around. Give it a nice rounded feel to it. So I did the inside first so that I knew how far I could go on the outside. Give that nice round lip. Not such a sharp edge. I'm going to switch to my rounded bit here because that's a little more for finishing. And then I know I can take that off and do what I got to do. Take a little look and see. Yeah, it stepped down nice, little angle on it. I'm going to take it out just a little bit more right where it makes contact. Yep, just need to take a little bit more in there. Yeah, I like that better. Open up the inside a little more too. See how that looks. Just making the inside look nicer. A little more uniformed. I like that. So now that's going to give me a little bit more freedom on shaping the outside and doing any marks or edges or whatever I want to do. At least that's the theory. And if I didn't get it big enough, well, I guess that's just too bad. So there's the inside of her, right? So I wanted to make this circumference here. I wanted to make that big enough so that it can go over that. That way I can clean up this edge and make this a lot prettier. I can also get rid of some of that and make everything else on the outside look more aesthetically pleasing. That's the goal. Aesthetically pleasing goal. Looks like I got it just enough. So what I try to do is open it so that it's tight. This can't really go anywhere, because what will happen is if that's not tight, and I don't want to crank it and split it open, but if this isn't tight, this can go blowing off and shooting off into the sunset and doing all kinds of craziness that we really know we don't want it to do. But let's go ahead and clean it up. I'll start with flattening out this edge and then we'll work making that prettier. Just like that. Just like that. That's what will happen if it's not too tight. Or if it isn't tight enough, I should say. Boop. And it's key to get a good angle on it and get it straight. And I also got to crank up the speed a little bit. Taking it up to about 2200. Try that again. What's up, Pamela? How are you, dear? I'm going to take this down a little bit. Gotta be slow with this, can't be fast. Gotta be careful. Careful and gentle. And that's a waste. Because I just opened that sucker up and I just cracked it. That little hit, it's split. Which sucks. But I'm not going to scrap this whole piece out for that. Nope. Nope, nope. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fill it with some of my special glue that I've got. Clamp it down. Break out the Starbond glue. Try to fix this sucker up. This out of the way. I'm going to use this to open it a little bit. Just so that I can get the glue down into the cracks. Try and get this open just a little more. And I'm going to clamp it down. Just light clamping pressure. Hopefully that's enough clamping pressure. And I think we'll be okay. But it does tell me that I'm not going to be able to grab that the way that I wanted to. So I'm going to have to open this back up, put it back in there, kind of shape this down a little bit more so that I can allow this to grab it better, because it's just not getting enough surface. Because I shouldn't have to open it enough to where it got split like that from the hit. And the glue's already dry. That's why I like that glue so much. Open this back up, cedar back in, grab her. I'll clean off some of this this glue with the sandpaper. I'm not going to do it with the lathe because I don't want to tear it apart. But what I do want to do is put more angle on that. I'm going to use a different bit or a different tool for that. Instead of my square one, we're going to go to our diamond shaped one. And shape this in a little better. That should be a little bit better. And instead of trying to smooth that out on the inside, I'm going to leave it the way it is. So what I try to do is try to put a little more angle on that. Sorry, I had dust on the screen there. Trying to put a little more angle on it so that outside of the jaws, these jaws are tapered. So I have to try to, as much as possible, match that taper. Keep going the wrong way. I don't want it to split open again. You're going to have to be careful. Yeah, I like that one for that. Try the skew, maybe. Nah. No. Go back to what we know. I'm taking off a very small amount each time, and then just checking where I'm at. I've still got some marks, so I know I've got to take it down quite a bit. but I'm just taking off a small amount each time, and it's actually kind of recessed in right now. A little better. Not a ton better, but a little better. Still got a little more to take off. Quite a bit nicer. I got a little concave in there, which is fine. Okay with a little concave. Now I can kind of shape this up a little bit more. So I don't want to keep on digging in here and trying to make that different, but I do like that I got that kind of rounded and how I wanted it. So we're going to make a little adjustment here. Yep. All right, I can deal with that. Let's clean up some of this super glue that I put on there. Just doing a very light cleanup pass. That's all that's for, is just clean up the mess of the super glue. See how we're looking? Yep, we got that cleaned up real good. Sandpaper will take the rest of that off. Let's add some details. Let's add some fun to it. Put some little waves in it. Very soft back and forward motion. Very subtle. And one there, and let's do another one right here. I know this is a little bit thicker of a spot, so I could go a little deeper if I wanted to. All right, we got some nice looking groovage in there. And now let's just drop our tools, because that's always fun. Let's put a little gouge line right here, right about the center of it. Yep, right about the center of it here. We'll throw in a little gouge line. And then because we can, we'll put another one right here in this corner that I was trying to avoid doing much to. And do another one right here because we can. Doing a little bit of extra dress-up work on this one because we hit it with the super glue. That super glue is going to come out or be almost invisible. But this just meant that we had to make this one a little prettier. Throw on some extra details and stuff to make that a little more appealing. All because of this little crack right here. Alright, but now we're going to hit it with some sandpaper. Which means I'm going to throw my sanding mask on. Gotta get your PPE on. And let's throw on some good sanding here. See which one is which. Start with this one here. Get that one in there. That's really going to help with the with that glue. So that glue is just going to stick. It's going to stay. There's not going to be anything that can really be done about it. But we can just get her cleaned up. As best as possible. Get her cleaned up. Make her pretty. The glue just became the accent in the piece. That's really all that did. It's the accent in the piece. Hit it with the finer sandpaper now. Clean out those little grooves. And there's our crack. Doesn't look quite as bad. It's good. We'll open this up, sand out the inside. Much as we can, but here we go for the outside. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. The inside of the bowl looks okay. Got that glue up there in the top, but we'll sand this all out. We got a big ridge in here. But it's the inside of the bowl, it doesn't matter. It's actually not a bowl, it's the succulent holder that I probably made deeper than I needed to. These are the ones from the beginning of the video. Those are the ones I've already completed. These are Caro walnut, C-A-R-O. right? So those are a couple different edges. This is what I was talking about, trying to get to hold the inside of the line so you can turn everything there. And this is what happens when you can't, right? So I couldn't get it the way I wanted it. So now I got it this way. Take a quick drink here. I'm gonna take this off of camera and I'm gonna hit this and sand it with my Dremel real quick because I don't want to sit there and just grind away. So give me 1 second. Almost done. We're getting there. I think that's enough for now. All right, so I kind of sanded it out a bit there. Stepped off screen, sanded it out, got rid of most of that line, didn't get down into that corner very good. But again, that's the inside of the bowl, so, or the holder, so I'm not particularly worried about it. Feels okay, it's nice and smooth. Yep, I'm okay with that. Definitely A-okay with it. I don't mind that. But let's go ahead and we'll throw a little finish on it. So I'm only going to finish, I'm going to have this spinning at the lowest speed. I'm only going to finish the outside of it. I'm not even going to touch that lip really. Get that afterwards because I don't have any way to hold it on the inside. We're going to spin it nice and slow. And we'll apply the finish. We're going to use some shellac on it. Hey, what's up, Rob? How are you, buddy? I'll grab my gloves. Put some shellac on this guy. I'm going to throw a towel underneath it so we don't get the lathe all shellac-a-lacking. We don't want that. We don't want the lathe all shellac-a-lacked. That doesn't sound like any kind of fun to get the lathe shellacking. I've only got 10 more of these to make to fill an order. Woohoo! Grab my little makeshift stir stick. Get the shellac stirred up here a little bit. I've come to find that I really like the ease of applying shellac. I'm going to apply it with blue paper towel. I could use a paintbrush if I wanted to, but I'm not doing enough of these right now to justify wasting a paintbrush. Set that over there. Throw on my glove. We'll see how this comes to life with all that beautiful wood grain, because I think it's going to look pretty nice. At least I hope. All right, we always hope our projects look super nice. Yep, blue shop towels are the stuff. And it sounds like you're carving some Christmas presents, Christmas orders there, Rob. Tore off a little piece, didn't want to do that. It's all right though. But this is one of those reasons that I really have started to come to really like shellac. This piece is already pretty much dry to the touch. When you do it on the lathe like this, it really does dry quick, which is an obvious bonus, right? The more time we get to not be doing the stuff that we don't want to do, gives us more time to do the stuff we do want to do, creating and having fun. But like I said, this is already really close to being dry, at least to the touch. I've applied 2 coats already. I'm going to go with a third on it. And like I said, I'm just spinning this at the absolute minimum speed. Getting real close to the lip. So when I do the inside of it, it doesn't take much. But that's it. It's all shellacked and done, to the outside at least. And I like doing it on the lathe like that, because it helps me ensure I got an even coverage. So that is one reason, one benefit of liking to do it on the lathe. Put this in here, give it a little tap, tap, tap-a-roo, close it up. I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to take this off of here and I will set it aside and set it upside down on its edge while it dries. But there we go. It's a nice, pretty color. This one's not as exciting as some of these other ones are going to be that are spalted and have a couple different colors in it, but I still like it. So I think it's going to look good. Yeah, just a little bit sticky, but not terrible. Enough that I can take it off without having to worry. And then I can set it down somewhere. Even if it's on sawdust, it's going to be on the edge that doesn't have anything on it. Just like that. There we go. Nice shellacked finish. Trying to roll it around to where that glue was. Yep. Nice little crack, but it's okay. Right? Even though I cracked it, Still going to use it. And if somebody wants it, cool, they want it. And if they don't, no problem. All right, so I just set that off and over there on the side. Let's play around with one that I think is going to look a lot more exciting. This guy right here. So this one's got some spalting in it. Get it into view there. It's got some spalting in it. A couple different looks to it. A couple different grains. All right, so that one could be pretty cool. I got another one down here I think that'll also look pretty cool. This one has more of the spalting in it. Same thing. This was essentially somewhere or another. I think it was like that. Yeah. Yep, just like that. So that was the spot that I cut it off of. Yeah, I think we're running one of these. I don't know which one. Which one do I want to run with? I'll let you guys pick. Left or right hand? Let's step around here. Left hand, right hand, which one? Roll these around, see which one you guys want to see go. I'm going to have to look at the comments here in a second. Pull them up. Not that one. Haha, got it, caught it. Haha. Let me see all these live chat messages. Let's see who we got. Left hand says just carve Rob. Well, looks like Rob was the only one to comment, so we'll go with left hand. Now I got to remember which one was the left hand. I think it was this one. I think I caught this one and stacked it up. All right, I got the comments open again. Pamela says left. Calling this one the left now because I dropped one. So left hand, right hand. I think this one was the one that I said was left before. But this one so far, left hand, right hand. Still going with the left hand, this guy. Now Rob's switching it up. He's going to the right. Okay. All right, Pam and Rob, and there's more people here to comment. So left, right. Let's make it our final command. I did switch hands. Okay, so this one was the left. So this is the one we want. All right, that's the one it's going to be. Slide her over without kicking the camera. Jesus. Get that set back up. All right. Take this off. So I don't know if you guys tuned in from the beginning or not, but these little pencil marks, for any of you that don't know, when you have an odd-shaped surface, if you have corners that cross each other, you can find your center pretty easily, or at least get really, really close. So you draw your lines and connect all the corners, and where they intersect is the center. So I take this guy here, and I touch it right to the center, and tap it in, and I get it close enough that it's good to start turning it. And then with the other piece of the lathe on the other side, it's the same thing. You drive it in, get it nice and close and centered. So that's what we're going to do. Got to decide which side I want to be the top and which side I want to be the bottom. I'm going to make this side the top because I think it's going to look better with more of the spalting. So that's going to be this side. Hold that here. That's going to be that spot. I'm going to take this guy off. Okay, got that off. this guy here. Line it up as much as possible to the center. I was pushing away a little too much. I don't like that. There we go. Sink this in here. Clamp her down. And when I turn this on, it should spin nice and be pretty centered. Crank it up to 32. There is a little mild vibration, so it means it's not 100% perfect, but it usually is not 100% perfect. You're just trying to get it close. All right, move this guy in. So we're going to get it rounded off. Start with the roughing gouge, and the mask, the facial face mask. And let's round her out. Almost round. A little flat spot here. So we're almost there. Still a little flat. Not bad, a little bit though. All right, we got the flat out. There we go. Flat's out, nice look. Yeah, looks good to me. Now what I got to do is I just got to see how much space I'm working with. I'm going to try to get what I want done here, done correctly. I want to try to get the dish bowl size. All right, I want to try to get this for the inside of that instead of clamping on the outside. I want this so that I can turn everything around it a little bit better. So that's what I'm going to shoot for on that. Got to check my sizes and everything, see what I can do here. Which means I got to take this off. take some measurements and see what I got. I go from the center. How much do I have? Do I have enough space? Going from the center, I need to get at least 1 1/8 inches. It's going to leave me really, really tight. I think we can do it though. It's going to go 1 1/8 inches. Gotta give it a shot. Okay, you can knock this out. I need the drill. We need the drill. This is going to be the top side. Was it? Yes, this is bottom, this is top. Got to remember that. Check my depth. A little more. All right. Back on this guy. Put this back on nice and tight. Need this. Got the screw on piece. Trying to just get it in there and get it started. Get it nice and snug. Could probably go up 1 drill bit size, but I like it to be good and tight so it has less chances of swinging around and backing off on me. This one's really tight. Whew. Definitely going to go up a drill bit size. This one is really, really tight. Two-handing on this. It's a good thing I wore my shirt with the muscles in it. Jesus. All right, close enough. Get my sizing height right. Slide this guy back out of the way a little more. Pretty close. That doesn't look right. That looks like it's going to wobble. Because it's absolutely wobbling. Which is no good. Don't like wobbles. Sorry, I'm being quiet as I'm having a little technical difficulty here. Don't want that in there right now. We also don't want that wobble. It's no good. All right, well, looks like I'm going to not risk this. Just take this sucker off of here. This is not going to be easy to take off of here. I think I kind of have to leave it on here. I do have to, because I already drilled the hole. Well, just G-dang it. Since I already drilled that hole, I gotta just try to recenter this as much as I can. Things are not working as I wanted. That's close enough. Yep, not exactly how I wanted it, but it is what it is. Hi Pam, thank you for swinging in. Hey Rob, thank you for swinging in as well. Yep, we're just going to go ahead and do it this way. Yep, okay, I guess I'm going to take that. Gonna take it. I have to do. Gonna have to do. hitting it out one way or another. And we'll switch to that bigger drill bit for sure. Definitely gonna have to switch to that bigger drill bit. But in the meantime, I'm gonna have some fun with this. Get some holes drilled here. Well, before I do that, let's do some more shaping. Shape it while we can. It's got a good bite of being whole. Grab the mask. Let's shape her up.
Wake up! Wake up! Come rush a little wake up! I just got to fade away this wake up! Why'd you leave the kids up on the...
We're going to ignore that call. All right, let's have a little look and see where that 2 inches from the center is going to be. So we got roughly 2.5, which makes 1 1/4 the center. Get a good rough mark here. All right, so I'm gonna, right about there is where I can go to with my shaping of stuff. Go right about to the edge of that. I think I can deal with that. Now let's set up the drill. Run at about 1100, bring this back to where I can zero it at a good spot. Instead of making this one 2 inches deep, I'm only going to make it 1.5 inches deep. Okay, so I can only go a certain amount. It's fine. Let's take it down to that 1.5 inch mark. there, should be about 1.5 inches deep. So I'm choosing to do 1.5 inches deep because I want to shape that bowl a little bit more if I can. Let's see if I can. Hot bits. Okay, so I'm gonna get about 1/2 inch in. And we'll see how deep we got that. Should have it enough to flatten out the whole bottom. Yeah, I can deal with that. All right, take this out. Back that up. See what we got going down now. Oh, I'm getting my bald spot in there a lot. That's cool. See if I open that up enough where I don't have to bust this thing. Good save. I caught it. Didn't wreck it. Thankfully. It's the only part that I don't like about using this inside groove. It doesn't hang on as tight in my opinion. All right, no sanding, we're good. Crank that speed down. Where to put the sanding mask at? Up here. This one shouldn't look too bad. Getting there. Getting much closer. All right. Doesn't look like I got any new people in here. Maybe one. Looks like I got 2 viewers. One of them would be me from my tablet. So other viewer, if you'd like to, go ahead and say something. I'll reply as soon as I see it. If you got questions, go ahead and ask. Do my best to answer them. Where are we at here? Almost got all the marks out. I'm gonna check and see if I got a little different sandpaper, a little heavier grit. Just grab a new piece of 150, that'll help it. Help it go a little faster. Yeah, I helped it along quite a bit. Yep, helped it along quite a bit. I grab my little orbital sander here. My lazy man's way of sanding this. There we go. Turn the speed all the way down. All that was is to try to get the straight swirl lines out of it. I've still got some more work to do. It's getting close though. We're getting a bunch out, which is good. Probably pretty good. Yeah, I think I'll call that okay. I like that. Let's put a little shellac on it. Actually, let me sand up the inside at the Dremel station. Gotta get some of that on the inside sanded out. Make that a little better. Blow dust off camera there. Get this smoothed out in here a little bit. And I gotta clean up this edge here too. Need some new sandpaper? Maybe I do. Just prepping some sandpaper for my Dremel flap sander. Made by Peter Blair. This guy in Canada. Makes some pretty nice flap sander. Not really flap sander, but different attachment sanders for Dremel. He doesn't do them directly for Dremel, he just does them for himself, and then he sells them. He's an old time dude. Does good work. Throw away my old sandpaper here. I gotta give this a little twist, get it out. Left the Dremel in the station over there, but Pete does a pretty good job over there with some stuff, making attachments that are helpful for carvers and woodworkers. So I have a couple of his little mandrels, high slow speed sanding mandrels. Typically put one in backwards. This is actually the forward way. I need to hold that screwdriver while I'm doing this. I pre-punctured the holes with that little screwdriver there. He does put a point on the screws and on the mandrel to puncture the holes, but I just usually use the screwdriver because I have it in hand already. But, yep, clamp them on down and then attach it into the Dremel. And washer on that side, keeps it tight. Almost back in business with the sanding here. We'll be back in business in about a minute. Put some tools back into the toolbox. And I can pick up where I left off. Not super important to get the inside super smooth. I do try to get it somewhat smooth. I think that's gonna be smooth enough, maybe. It's smooth enough for my liking, at least for what this project is. Go ahead and put this back on here, and I'm going to leave it just a little bit open so that I can stay away from my chuck. Drill speed turned all the way down. I'm also going to bring the one from earlier over that's now dry enough. Now I can do this side and get the inside of it as well. Kind of doing a finish as I go here. Grab a couple of gloves. And a little makeshift stir stick. It's just a piece of scrap wood that I had laying. I stirred this earlier, but I figure I might as well stir it up just a little bit again. Put my little stir stick back. Fold my little rag over in half. Like I said earlier, I could use brushes, but reality of it is I don't want to ruin a paintbrush over these small amounts that I'm doing here. And while that one's spinning, doing a quick dry, I'm just touching up the inside of this one. At least as much as I can. Not wanting to cooperate very much with me right this second. Cut the paper towel just a little too wide. So I'll fold that in half again, make that a little easier on my life. Dab another coat on this. Putting a little second coat on the inside of this one too. In a minute, I'll do a third coat on that. Send this one to go sit off in the corner. Alrighty, so inside of that one's good. Inside of that one's good enough to go. I can go set this down over there and let it dry out. I'll do a third coat on this and take this off and set it over there to dry. We'll get to the inside of this one in a little while. That's that. So you can throw that little rag away. Take the gloves off, throw those away. Tap the can closed. And look at her rolling around slower. Let that dry for a second before I pull that off and show her off. Looks pretty to me. I don't know about you guys, but that looks pretty to me. I like it. Turn that on and let that spin and dry for a minute. Do some quick cleanup. Get a little something to drink. Have a little something to drink here. I think we've been running for quite a while here. Yeah, about 2 hours. I think this is just about done. Yep, I can take that off. Not too sticky. And we'll get to where you guys can see this guy better. There we go. That's pretty. Twist around there. It's a nice, small, quick project. I'll set this one up for drying. It's already pretty dry. A little sticky, not bad. We'll go set it down there to dry and get ready to get on the next one. All right, well, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream and focus on just knocking these guys out. I appreciate you guys all tuning in and watching. We got about 2.5 hours on this one. So y'all stay good, stay safe. Appreciate you guys all chipping in and making your comments and coming by to say hi. We will see you guys later.